What is your relationship with the peaks and the valleys of your life? If you're a high performer or a high achiever, you may find that you're very accustomed to being able to execute and create and go from one peak to the next in a kind of upward and to the right trajectory. But what happens if that way of being and when that way of being starts to no longer work for you? What do? I've been in some big transitions lately, and I do identify as a high achiever, high performer, maybe a recovering one. And I know that when I start to feel stuck and like the tools that I've used in the past to execute through stagnation or stuckness no longer work, it can feel very worrisome. I can get discouraged. I can start to become afraid. I can start to feel my ego want to kick things into high gear and just push through and execute regardless of how I'm feeling. All on top of the belief that where I'm at right now, if I find myself in a valley, is not acceptable, or that there's something wrong, or that there's something incongruent about being in this place, which further just creates fear and rejection of the present moment. I think it's really important, if you can relate to this, to find some time to pause and ask yourself, how am I relating to the valley in my life? Most people, most of the folks that I know who are friends or clients, when they start to run into a valley in their life and they can no longer create in the way that they used to, they find themselves resisting the present moment, judging the present moment, rejecting the present moment. And so if we were to personify this place, this valley, into a person, and you were to think, okay, what is my relationship with this valley? How do I see them? How do I act towards them? Am I trying to avoid it? Am I anxious about it? Those types of behaviors, that type of stance and orientation, unfortunately, actually keep us more stuck. And they can have us perpetuate this valley and stop this valley from completing in its natural course of time. So the invitation here is, notice how you are relating to this particular valley in your life right now. And if you're rejecting it and you're pushing it away and you're punishing yourself and you're thinking something's wrong, then maybe there is an opportunity to shift your stance towards this very natural flow of life, which is finding yourself in a valley from time to time. How can we use this valley to exercise and create curiosity, patience, acceptance? Maybe allowing this valley to actually speak to us rather than to close our eyes and cover our ears and try to push through it as quickly as possible. What you might find, like I've found, that the more that we can come into deeper rapport with this valley and see it as a natural part of flow, and maybe even a natural part of your own evolution, we have an opportunity to let this valley transform us and maybe even transform the way that we show up in life permanently. Many high achievers live in a life happens by me reality, meaning that you see yourself as an agent, you see yourself as an executor, somebody who goes out and creates what you want. If something's not working, you change it. If you want something, you go get it. And in order to move to a different way of being, one that actually might be filled with more enjoyment, more fulfillment, it actually might take running into a wall and having a breakdown around this life happens by me reality. There's another way of being in the world, which is life happens through me. And this is brought on by learning how to surrender. Learning how to open up and actually be a conduit for something larger than your own wants, something larger than your own ego. Maybe there's something larger that wants to be born through you and use you as an instrument, a project, a business, a relationship. But see, if we're too busy judging the present moment and we're trying to revert to old strategies to get to the next level, we're going to miss the message. Our listening shuts down, we get tunnel vision, and we're too busy listening to our inner critic about how we shouldn't be here, rather than listening for signs about what is wanting to be born within us. So what if you were to turn towards the valley right now in your life, the place where you feel stuck, lost, ineffective, and you were able to sit in it and pause. Wait patiently for a new message to come, a new center of intelligence within you to surface. What you might find is that this old way of being that is used to executing on a linear trajectory can retire, and a new way of operating can come online that can actually serve you in creating quantum results in your life that don't require excessive action, that don't require hustle, that don't require you to put your nose to the grindstone to create what you want. But that can only come online if you're willing to pause and listen and befriend this valley and see it as a doorway or a gateway to a different version of you that is ready to come online. And maybe that's what this valley is it's a transition point. There's a saying that what got you here isn't going to be what gets you to the next level. And so what is that next level? And what is the new vehicle, the new way of being, the new perspective and inner stance that you can take that will ultimately have you begin to expand in a way that maybe you haven't up until now? So maybe in this valley, you can slow down, pause, find gratitude for all the things that you have created. Take stock, take inventory of all the ways in which this old way of being has served you. And you can turn towards this next phase with vulnerability, with openness, and with receptivity for what's in store next. My name's Clayton Olson, and if you find yourself in a valley right now, or there's some other peak that you would love to reach, whether it's in your relationships, your dating life, the work that you do in the world, I'd love to enter into a dialogue with you and talk about what we can create together. Feel free to click on the link below the video in this description and get in contact with me.